Have you ever said to yourself, building a Star Wars basement is cute, but building a full-size ship? Well, that would be better. You know, I've thought this before, but I've never said it out loud, because I never really thought I'd have the opportunity to build a full-size ship. Well, that was until very recently, because that's what we're going to do, and that's coming up. What's up, you awesome geeks? I'm Brian, and welcome to the Smuggler's Room. This week, this chubby geek is, well, he's in a bit of a state of shock, because you see, we're about to embark on the true dream project for a geek like me. We're about to build a full-size, Star Wars-inspired spaceship. Now, before we get too in the weeds on this, I want to tell you about the incredible people that are going to make this happen. In the wonderful town of Asheville, North Carolina, you can find the tree houses of Serenity. Dotting the side of a mountain, you can find wonderfully designed and built homes like I've never seen. Our friends Mike and Caroline first built a true tree house that your inner child would absolutely have loved. It looks out over a wonderful valley of thick forest, and I'm sure no matter your age, you certainly are going to feel like a kid again when you see it. Now, this wonderful tree house is just the beginning of what this lovely couple has created. There's a Wizard's Hollow themed from Harry Potter, the perch in which we had the pleasure of staying in, the airy treehouse, the farmhouse, and a hobbit hole. Each one of these awesome homes are beautifully designed, built, and decorated to give you a truly unique experience. They call it an Airbnb, but it's so much more. If it sounds a little bit like a sales pitch, well, it is, because I would love every one of you to be able to see and stay in this unbelievable property that they have and enjoy all of these just amazing little treehouse projects that they have scattered throughout the mountainside. So I've linked their website in the description below, and I encourage you to check it out. And if you fancy yourself a trip, you can book it right there. So what do tree houses and the Smuggler's Room have to do with one another? Well, if you think staying in a treehouse for a weekend is enjoyable, what about a Star Wars-inspired spaceship? Yep, my friends, that's what we're going to be doing, and I want to take you through all of the initial plans of this project. These are some elevations of the ship's exterior. We're working with an awesome structural engineer by the name of Jeff Schwartz that has worked on nearly all the treehouse projects for Serenity. We've taken to calling the ship the Phoenix, which I think really works well, as some of it has a bird-like quality to the design, and it's a catchy name. Now, the interior is where the fun begins today. You can see that we have 2 bedrooms nested in each of the wings, a living quarters in the center of the ship, a full bathroom, and a cockpit. Let's go ahead and start in the bedroom design. We first wanted to have those iconic Millennium Falcon cockpit doors. This will, of course, be a pocket door. Next, we have a platform bed designed with built-in storage underneath, as storage in this project is going to be at a premium. We also have pads serving as the headboard. Now, in our basement project, we have these pads. They're the pads that we used, that we created out of foam, styrofoam, and then wrapped them in the Mod Podge paper towel technique and then painted and weathered them. And they've worked great. However, when we were talking about doing the pads or the panels that we want to put into the spaceship, we wanted to think about durability, because hopefully thousands of people will visit this home. And my lovely wife Carissa came up with the idea of creating foam panels but then wrapping them in vinyl. This is the material that my wife Carissa picked out. It's a vinyl, it has the right kind of color beige that we were going for, and it actually has a built-in weathered look to it already. It'll be durable, it'll be long-lasting, and if it needs replaced, we can always replace a panel with more of this vinyl. Now, a couple of the other things about the bedroom I really like is the soffit design. My wife created this soffit design, which I think adds a little dimensionality to the room, as well as creates this little cove with a built-in shelf for your phone and things that you might put on an end table or a nightstand. Next, we have 2 light fixtures on either side of the bed that we're going to build from scratch. Over on Facebook in our Star Wars Room Builders group, which has amassed over 10,000 members at this point, I found a post by Rob Rock, and he introduced me to this lovely thing. This is a sight glass flow pipe. They're designed to observe the flowing liquid, but when I saw what Jim Strunk, also a member of the Star Wars Builders group, did with his, I said, yep, that could be a perfect light. Throughout the rest of the space, we have a little nook that's built into the negative space in the wall where you can put items. Below that, we've got a little detailed panel of sorts. And on the other wall, we have some more pads and some subtle details that give this the ship-like feel and look that we want. Wow, that's a lot, and that was just a bedroom. Now let's take a look at the living space of the ship. Obviously, the most iconic element is the Falcon-style bench and the little ottoman. Now, we're not going totally screen accurate here, as this isn't the Falcon, it's the Phoenix, but we can still have a great representation of the bench. In the center there, we've got the Dejarik table. It's going to look very similar to the one in the films. However, we might make it a little longer so there's plenty of space to utilize it as a dining table. We've got a spot for a pull-out TV, a couple of lounge chairs, and a full kitchenette with a great sci-fi twist. Basically, you'll have a comfortable space to heat up some Mynock wings, pop open a can of Fat Bantha, and enjoy the view. The view? Didn't I mention the view and how you're going to see that? It's through the engines. Yep, the engine area of the ship is actually a full set of floor-to-ceiling windows. Seeing those beautiful sunsets from this location is going to be breathtaking. So, what about the aspect of the ship that I'm the most excited about? Obviously, it's the cockpit. We are going all out with the cockpit. Full control panels, tons of lighting, rocker switches, toggle switches, flight control, and the best part, this cockpit will be a fully functional home theater. When our friend Mike, the owner of the Treehouses of Serenity, told me about the idea of a home theater in the cockpit, I could hardly contain my excitement. Caroline, you know full well that when this cockpit and the rest of the ship is done, we're going to sit back and watch Star Wars. Oh, and here's something very cool that our friend James from the Rebel Base Builds provided for us so that we could take it and show Mike and Caroline the entire cockpit in its full layout. I'm going to put a link below so you can pop over to the site and check this out as well. It's a great way to tour what we think will be an iconic element to this entire project. James, thank you again for helping us set this up. So my friends, as you can imagine, I am incredibly, insanely excited for this project. Both Chris and I could not have imagined in our wildest dreams that we would be building a full-scale spaceship. There is so much ahead for us in 2022. We've been working with the plans, the 3D model, and going through a variety of materials that Carissa has been collecting. I can assure you no detail will be overlooked, and for each guest, there will be something new to discover. Over the course of the next year, we'll be bringing you along on this entire project. Very recently, we had the opportunity to travel down to North Carolina to visit the site, to see all of the different projects that they've already completed, to meet our builder, Robert, who I am determined to make a Star Wars fan out of by the time this is finished, Jeff, our structural engineer that I mentioned before, and most wonderfully, Mike and Caroline, whose passion and energy for this project has us beyond excited. We have a ton of work to do, my friends, and it's going to be such an interesting project. We're going to build almost all of the interior features and exterior details here in our shop and store them, while the builder is assembling the actual ship and the infrastructure, and then we'll meet towards the end to get everything installed and ready for the first guest. I want to give a big thanks to Jeff for reaching out to us and introducing us to Mike and Caroline, and for Mike and Caroline, a huge thank you for trusting us to help take your dream into a reality. And for all of you, our dedicated audience, our Smugglers Guild members, we want to say thank you. I know we've been a little miss for the last 3 weeks or so, and the content hasn't been as regular as we've had it in the past. But trust me, we have so much coming for you in 2022. We're super excited about kicking off this project. Hopefully, right around February, we can start building some of the actual parts and pieces. as well as all the other mayhem that we have planned for this year. Cannot wait to get started and bring you all into that. We hope all of you have a wonderful holiday with your family, your friends, that you stay safe and healthy. And we are so excited you're going to be along with us for this ride. It's going to be a project to remember, and it certainly qualifies as building something out of nothing.